Alright, so for my body cam footage that I did, so there was a bunch of police officers. This was in West Palm Beach, Florida. Happened on 12/22/24. Outside of like a strip mall area, there was a Foot Locker, Planet Fitness, and a couple other stores around there. Those are the two that I could really see to kind of get the environment. The body cam footage didn't it showed like they pulled up in the car and it was like an immediate chaos. And I could tell that the officer was kind of frantic almost, and kind of, what's the word? Almost, I don't want to say eager, but kind of panicking in a way, which right off the bat I thought was kind of like, it's not what you should be calm. But he gets up there and there was two families, and one of the family's daughters, they never said like what it directly like led to this, but one of the family's daughters, 'cause there was two families that got into a fight, called her mom saying that some people, quote, "We go jump you when your shift end," end quote. And so this lady, she was working in the Foot Locker. She called her mom and she's like, "Hey, like these people said they're gonna jump me, blah blah blah." So what any parent would do if they run to the job, and they're just kind of wait until she gets off work. It's almost the end of her shift, whatnot. Excuse me. And the daughter comes out of work and she's with her mom, and these five girls, jump this other girl, the daughter, and start weighing on her and whatnot. And the mom is like trying to break it up, whatnot. And then one of the family of the daughter that jumped the daughter, that's kind of a confusing sentence, came, and then all these families started fighting, which is kind of crazy. Police were called by the Foot Locker. Pedestrians are trying to break it up and whatnot. Whatever. Police get there. They kind of immediately like run up to the situation and whatnot. And to me, they didn't do their assessment of the situation could have been a lot better. Like, I know it's like, okay, these people are wailing on each other, you have to act fast, but I felt like they just immediately went towards threats. So the police officer walks up, he immediately has his tasers out, he is immediately like, I'm gonna tase you, stop, instead of trying to like actually get in there and break up the fight or pull people away or whatever. He's immediately threatening, which to me, it didn't seem like he was actually, like, the one officer, the body cam footage that we have, he was going to actually do it, which I thought was good. I thought it was used more as a threat of warning and less of a threat of action, which I think is amazing. I feel like if you threat and then do it, it's going to be a little bit more different, unless it's like an actual severe situation, like someone, has a gun, that's a little different, you know what I mean? But these people are just people fighting. So there's all this chaos going off, and whatnot, and everyone is punching each other, and they finally start to break it up, and the officers immediately go to the two girls, the girl that got jumped and the girls that jumped them, immediately put them in handcuffs, whatnot. The mom of the girl that got jumped starts getting in the officer's face and starts like grabbing him and stuff like that. And I applaud this officer he was very calm. He was like, "Hey, I'm just doing my job. I have to do this. I'm sorry. Please get off me." Whatever. It's just he's staying very, very calm. And she's like, in the video, she was like grabbing him and like shaking him and whatnot. And then so all this stuff happens. They arrest everyone, and everything is like still pretty chaotic. The mom is yelling at the police officer, whatnot. All the officers. There was, I think, like 3 or 4 officers that I could at least see from the footage that were on this scene. We're all pretty calm until I forgot to mention this earlier actually. One of the officers did fire a taser. I forgot to mention that. And it like hit one of the girls' lower backs. And they wouldn't take the taser off when they went to go put her into the squad car, which I don't know if that's something that like they can't do, or it's just something like, oh, well, this is your fault. This is what you get. Like, I think that could have gone differently, in my opinion. But so they get everyone in the car, and then I don't know who it was, but a man comes up and he's got his phone, and he's like to the officer with the body cam. I didn't get his name or anything. Is like, hey, blah blah blah. Like, what's your name, badge number? I can film you. If you can film me, I can film you too. All this stuff. And the officer's very calm, and he just says his last name. And he says his badge number and whatnot, and the guy's wailing on him, and he's just kind of ignoring him, talking to the mom, and now he's trying to calm down the mom, explain to him the situation, what they have to do. The mom isn't really, doing that, because I mean, it's her daughter. Her daughter's getting arrested. I don't blame her, but she's frantic towards him, and then another officer comes up, and finally she starts to kind of like calm down and like understand and whatnot. But then the girl that got tased in the lower back starts screaming like, oh, this taser, get it off my back, whatnot. And the mom was like, oh, let me do it. I work in the medical field. And they're like, no, you can't. They wouldn't let her take it off, which I don't know if that's like an actual thing. I'm not totally sure if they're allowed to take it off or not. But all that stuff is going down and whatnot, and they finally like got the whole situation calmed down. And then they get in the squad car. The officer goes to the girls, gets all their information, whatnot, and then they get in the squad car, and the video ended. So pretty chaotic scene, a lot just went down. The officers immediately roll up to the scene. It's immediately chaos. There's people everywhere, people filming, people yelling, people fighting, people trying to break up the fight, people yelling at the officers, all this stuff. And I felt like the officers did a good job. And I felt like they did, it semi-led to a positive resolution, and whatnot. I'm going to fix my camera. I think it could have went differently, but I'll talk about that in a second. But I think it did lead to a positive resolution, about semi. Like your daughter's getting arrested, you know what I mean? Like if I was a father, right, and I had a daughter that's getting arrested, I would probably be pretty frantic too. Like I would want to know what happened, how did it happen, I would want to know every detail, whatnot. And like how like the mother was like, well, she was jumping us, she shouldn't get arrested, blah blah blah. But I felt like this officer was, from the officer's body cam footage, he seemed like he knew what he was doing. He seemed like his training was well. He seemed like he knew how to de-escalate situations. And although there was little peaks kind of where he may have been a little bit more towards threatening, he still was able to kind of bring it back down. And I applaud him for that, because I felt like he did a great job. And I feel like if he was very very actually like, I'm going to tase you like right off the bat, and like actually doing it, I think it would have went a different way. I think it would have went worse. So with all those findings and whatnot, there's a couple things I think could have gone differently. I think they could have talked less sternly, if that makes sense. The officer was very stern, all of them were. I think that could have been a little bit better. I think trying to understand the situation more would have been a little bit better. But all in all, I don't think there was too much to critique. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to look at my notes and think. I kind of covered some of that when I was talking earlier. Another thing though is this officer. He what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word. I don't know. I can't think of how to describe it. But other than that, other than those two things, I felt like the officer's very good. He definitely had good training. He definitely was a very personable person. He knew how to deal with people. He knew how to talk to people. He just knew what he was doing, and I think that's awesome. So, yeah.